these are the minutes, pass them around, because I should have read them online.
I'm gonna send out another email.
Right, that's
Probably tonight.
okay.
Nudge people a little bit.
Administration's coming in. People are talking about it, so.
Kind of like average, has been average.
Excuse the whole week.
But the insurance
Like this doesn't die, go on.
MRP
Erica is way advanced people, no matter what. I get Jessica all the time. Sometimes I just let people call me.
Well, you-
I have them first on the agenda.
Very good.
So yeah, grab some chairs and come on in.
Cuddle right on.
Just squeeze on in.
For helping yourself here.
Yeah, we got the whole crew.
All right, folks, it is 6:30. I want to get started. I want to keep this agenda tight because a lot of people have acting to do tonight. So first, I want to recognize our guests in attendance, Miss Erica. She's been here a couple of times now. Hopefully we're going to reel her in at some point. And then also we have Jake Throwkill.
Yep.
Okay, I knew I was going to butcher that. And he's got something that he wants to present to us as part of our new business tonight through Holly. So welcome, folks.
And there's two other introducers.
So
Sorry.
this is Miles Barcombe and Joe Orlando. I've got a few of these for you guys. I'm Joe Orlando, see some familiar faces here, so it's nice to see you guys. Thank you for your time.
Didn't you guys work on the commercial or something from the MSU that was done here?
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll let you go ahead and present, and then that way we can leave and don't have to go through the things.
I wait until everybody has a little bit of information in front of them. I got some more sheets here too.
Passed you by. I got one.
Anybody else?
All right, excellent. So if everybody has the information, I think we'll each take a little bit of time visiting here. But again, my name is Jake Throwkill. I'm a wealth management advisor in Minot, and we've come up with an idea that we'd like to present to all of you. So we do in conjunction with most of the players. And then we did introduce him before. Miles Barcombe here is a local musician, and he's really involved in the music scene. And Joe Lanto, of course, from the Good Talk Network. And the three of us have had an idea to produce a late night show, a live show in Minot, to produce this show and to have the opportunity for people to come in, witness the show live, have some music in front of it, see the show that we, and then provide some exposure to Monster Player. And musical acts, it's going to be centered around comedy, so the content will be uplifting in nature or humorous, but not so much, touching thing political or anything. To have fun, bring in local celebrities and guests to be a part of our show. So if you've seen any late night shows before, which are all of you familiar with how late night shows generally work, we're modeling it right after that, and we'd bring in people from Minot to present on that and to be a guest on our show. What a timeline of that looks like. Let's start. We'd run through our routine, and then there would be a brief intermission, and the show would end, or the show would have a closing section, and then the show would end. And those things would look like different variations and varieties for each show. This deal right here. And so why we think Monster Players would be a good partner to have this show is that we would provide the opportunity for you to be a sponsor of our productions, so we could highlight the different things that are going on here. We're not interested in making all the revenues off the show, and so we don't want to mess with the things of concessions and stuff like that. So if there's a way to make money through that section, we are interested in finding a partnership that's both favorable to the theater, favorable to our production. What we want to do now is secure in some locations to have 4 different shows throughout the season. And we don't want those to interfere with anything that's going on as far as your shows and productions go here. So we would be super accommodating in making that work.
So the question I have, obviously, we're during our season right now. We started September 1st. So you're talking about November, December, January, February kind of
That's what
thing?
we're looking at right now.
Okay,
So,
and break down.
So we're contemplating needing that whole day, so we can do a dry run that day of our show and then produce it. And then by the time we leave that evening, it'll be like we were never here, except maybe.
That's a good,
That's a good thing.
that was a segue right
Yeah.
I've been in a few productions here, so I know kind of how the tight scheduling of the shows work. So we really want to make sure we don't interfere with anything that's going on here.
Do you know what day?
Well, obviously during our production runs, we have things going on the stage, being built.
Yeah.
Being taken down, stuff like that, so.
I'm not sure about other directors, but generally Saturdays are an off day as far as rehearsals. So that would probably work well.
Just have to ask them,
I know.
so get in there.
Saturdays are work call days, and there's 2 productions that will be going on during that time. I can tell you one of them is mine. And Saturdays would be being used for work calls. So that kind of runs in conflict right there. Because you couldn't be setting up and trying to do your rehearsals while we're banging around in the background trying to set up
What time are your work
things. They usually run from 10 o'clock in the morning until whenever we need to feel it's done.
However, say for example, because I'm the next director, okay? So we're done with this run, not this weekend or the following weekend, but so the Saturday, the last Saturday of the month would be open because although we may be in the planning stages or something, as long as you didn't mind what your backdrop looked like, that Saturday would be available.
And we see
That's one of the things is coordinating that those
Yeah.
days.
And we see the various backdrops as a positive to our show, because if it works that your half year is done, it's free, production and advertisement for Mouse River of what's coming. And if it's 4 or 5 different panels of different shows, it just adds to the creativity of what we have behind us. What we're going to bring as far as a desk and a couple chairs and a small setup for a 3 to 4 person band isn't going to be in the way of anything.
And you'll
As
be
long as-
bringing those in and
Bringing them in and taking them
as-
out. And as far as your sets go, from the productions I've been in, most of the sets have been really mobile, right, from the space up there. So we'd be able to move your fake rocks out of the way and put them back, or vice versa.
So the
You haven't
only,
been in too many, there's been a lot of things that haven't exactly been mobile.
this is a great idea, and I think it's a huge fit for our theater, and I think we definitely will be considering. But we have to ask the question of the timing. This is our season, and our season is first and foremost, obviously.
Absolutely.
So,
we
Yes.
don't have any specific dates where we think it has to be November 13th, or, if you say this is the day that works in November, we're flexible to make that work.
I mean, we do have the show dates picked out. So, you can look and see and make sure that it works with the schedule that you want to go with. Usually the Saturday after show, after we do our second weekend run, would probably be the best, but I know that doesn't always.
Yeah, our
Fall on that
goal,
schedule.
existing schedule of Mouse
And
Life.
it's,
So our
You're right,
target is
yes.
to infringe as little as we can upon your pre-existing productions, while hoping to bring some attention to MRP during its season and the shows you have on while we're doing our show.
I know
So
for my show, I'm just beginning to set up my calendar and things like that for the January show. So I can't even help you right now as far as saying what date might be available. I don't know how much
Well-
pre-planning Holly's done.
Yeah.
But that would be
That's
the
what
first
time do you wanna
thing,
know?
is we would need to know
Your Saturday.
what that situation is. Question I have is, are you
yeah.
planning on charging for people coming into this?
yes,
Okay, because coming in with other people is considered more of a rental situation. And we do have a rental contract for a full day's worth of occupation of the theater,
Do you guys know off the top of your head what you usually?
$250.
Okay.
That's
And
the
then-
flat at
And
this
you guys
point.
don't deal with anything, you just, theater's ours?
It
We have
basically
concessions
is
and
a
everything like that.
representative from MRP must be on site,
Perfect.
mostly to open the doors, turn off the alarm system, so the police don't come, and,
Answer
questions.
and answer questions.
Yeah, no, we want somebody.
And
from
that's,
correction,
that is a, and that's, that is a necessity, that isn't
You
a
would
like
handle
to
the-
have.
But if it's not Saturday, what if it was a different day?
What if it was like, what if it was a Friday?
Our fallback day is Sunday. We don't feel like this works in our time frame on a weekday quite as well. So effectively, our goal is to also maybe even bring some focus and attention just to downtown, as any cool downtown event would want to do. So we'd like to even partner with a local downtown business for maybe a pre-dinner and an after party. So we're looking to do that. And if you guys would prefer to go with a single night rental, we can talk about that, but we have, like, if you guys wanted to handle concessions and the beer license, and that's something you can yield benefit from in addition to the advertising. And as on the Good Talk, I can also compensate some free advertising on Good Talk Minot, some plugs for your shows. We can run some promos for you guys and stuff like that.
We're filming this also, and it's gonna be put out. We're planning on getting local celebrity type people, whoever knows and want to see, so it's gonna have a lot of exposure.
As long as they don't throw any tomatoes out.
Um,
That's not allowed.
No fruit allowed.
No
Vegetables allowed until.
Yeah. They're not paying in fruit.
Do you already have a admission price in mind?
We were looking around $15.
Okay. Now let's say we further discuss the idea of the flat rate. Let's say $250 doesn't work for you guys. I feel pretty comfortable that I chair the finance committee. We may be able to work something else if 250 won't work, because I think it's a good opportunity for the theater as well. And maybe would you be willing to split part of the admission with us?
That's something we have to look at too.
Okay.
We want to make it valuable and, some money and proceeds and stuff to go your way too. 'Cause
Yeah.
the intent of the
But I'm saying,
business plan is to
if we
break
find
even.
that 250 doesn't work for you because you're charging $15 to
170.
Money of-
But at least
Well-
to start with, it's hard to know how big an audience you're going to
Right.
attract.
That's why the partnership we need to talk about that just a little deeper, because this is a great advertising opportunity.
our ticket. I mean, until now, that's only costing you $178.
Tops.
I'm sure that we can work this out.
Yeah.
My
I think so.
question will be how is the scheduling gonna work? Like Lynn's is very concerning, because what we do is when the show comes up, the theater is technically the producer and the director's theater at that point.
Yep.
So it's up to them to decide. Now, obviously, they're being on the board, they're with us on making things work.
So,
I think we need to look at the dates.
yes.
Weekend of the show.
That's the show.
Right.
So,
But the
Holly,
following weekend probably would work.
so you're saying that yours is working, but you have 4 months? So
Well,
we
it
need to look at it all
depends.
the way down.
You could certainly do like the weekend after this show.
Which is
Well,
Maybe the
it would be the last weekend,
28th.
yeah, around Halloween.
No,
time.
No.
Well, I mean,
the
it's
show
ahead
ends
of it.
In October.
So we basically
This
got,
show.
Oh, this show,
Starting.
sorry,
there'd
not
be one
Halloween.
Saturday available in September,
Yeah.
and then
That's right, I'm still in
October.
production then.
Okay, so I don't want to bog
Be
this
better.
meeting
Right.
down with logistics like this. Maybe it behooves us to get you our dates
Right.
of our theater. You come back and shoot us an idea of your thought pattern around dates.
Yep.
And then we put it to the directors of those timings.
Yeah.
And say, okay, what do we need to move? Or can we adjust or whatever?
And if there's a date, as you know, specifically we're looking for a Saturday, but if there's a date that works for that month, that's the date that we want. And we're not has to be the third Saturday of every month.
Doing one a month.
One.
Yes.
Jonah, do
Okay.
you still have my contact information?
I do.
Okay. If you guys would, do you want to contact me? Maybe I can help you guys nail out some of this, some of the details on this, because I know that there's some issues with the work calls, but we do have a rehearsal room downstairs that you guys can be able to use during all week. So we can do our work call, you can get your rehearsal in and then bring it up.
I think
Yeah,
this is
I-
very
Am I correct in hearing that the board is in favor of pursuing this?
I think
So
most of us
given-
are in favor.
Given that we are in favor of pursuing it, could I suggest that Jacob and Ed be the board liaison to figure out details, Jacob being the spokesperson for the group, to work out dates that would be acceptable to all of us, as well as a financial agreement that be acceptable to both of us?
I think we can work this out.
Yeah.
So
I would
you don't wanna
second
be-
Then I move that.
Do you want to start in September?
I'll second it.
No, we're not, for us,
They're gonna work.
we're not ready till November, right?
They're
Yeah, don't be
looking
ready till
at
November.
sometime in
Okay.
November.
We're done
Jake.
with ours.
I did have one other question.
So all those in favor of
Probably
pursuing
more
more
adult.
activity?
I don't know that we would,
It's probably two.
Discussion,
I'm in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
any opposed, any nays? Okay, Edward, figure it out.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of us.
Yep.
And
On
promoting us.
Saturday,
Appreciate
we're
that.
doing an audition class. If you're available and you want to join us, you may,
What time?
9, about 11.
I can be here.
Get out his calendar.
Brittany has already gotten the okay.
Paula.
Announcement is sponsoring two season passes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
thank you for your time, everybody.
Good presentation.
Thank you.
You know,
All right, folks, moving on.
and then just come on.
Oh, Heather, did you get the proxy, Chris's proxy? right?
Yes.
That's
Thanks,
all.
everybody.
We'll talk soon.
Take care.
I'll have you soon.
Okay, did everybody get a chance to look at the meeting minutes from last month?
Yes.
Any questions, any changes before we motion to approve?
No motion to approve.
I'll second.
Lynn, motion, Edward, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'm just gonna assume no nays.
I didn't sure
Treasurer,
if there was any other,
there was no addendums or changes.
like I have Chris's proxy, no one of the proxies.
No, I haven't heard of any. Treasury report, Kim, is there anything you want to discuss or?
I have nothing.
I have nothing
You
to
got
add.
something?
I suppose I'll jump on this.
Okay,
The
jump
finance
on.
meeting was set to meet last Monday. There was a family emergency, so only 2 members of the committee were able to meet. So we will reschedule the meeting. And I was hoping for either next Monday or the Monday after. Is there anybody that would, next finance committee?
Okay. All right, then we'll move on to organizational reports. Graham,
The dates on there are actually held on September 4th.
I don't know why.
It was attended by Randall, myself, Kathy, Holly, and Nancy, right? Did I get everybody?
Yeah.
It seemed to go very, very well. Yeah, now the amount, except for the amount, so 15K here was actually 12.5.
Yeah, this was still from last month.
Kathy got a call from, I presume Julie Vetter today. She didn't say, but I presume that was who it was. And requested information about the W-9. And Kathy asked her, does this imply that it's a go? She says, well, it's going to the next step.
Which
So-
most of them never make. I was on that committee for 10 years, so.
So it's moving along, and I think we got a really good shot of the Enbridge. And I'm flying from memory here, something about Enbridge is no longer funding.
I asked Kathy to look into it. Enbridge was her first stop and she said,
So March, she's looking in that.
I'm not
Not
sure
sure
what she was
there was
doing.
something about the scheduling and I don't know it.
Well, that was last year's, but I think
I
we
will-
could apply.
I will say that when we were at the Hess Corporation, they were very interested in
Once we get a budget, we need to get a budget set, so we know what our expenditures can be for each year. All right, is that it on grant?
Yep.
Thank you, Kathy, throughout, that guy.
You can?
Social,
Pretty easy.
okay,
And there's no significant change. She's continuing to post things and as they
Yes.
come up and keep it going and answering questions that come in.
okay.
So
Finance, anything?
Got a date set for next Monday.
Box office,
access to the ticketing.
oh, it's gonna all go crazy now.
yes, because I'm having surgery on Friday and
On
good luck with
what?
that, right?
Well, I'll be. Ken, is there anything the board can help you with? Do we need to do anything? The letter from the
Boy, we
president
need
is there.
help.
Do we
It's
have
coming along. The
inserts?
show is good. The show is in good shape.
Do we have the program being printed? Is
Kathy's
Kathy working on it?
designing, Kathy's putting the program together. I'm just waiting to get the last of the information to her. She'll put that together.
Need the thank yous and things like that still? Okay.
Yeah, the acknowledgements and stuff. So if anybody has any of those,
Yep,
please
I'll
get
get
them
that
to
to
it.
you tonight.
So anything else that needs to go in that, we need to get it to Kathy ASAP.
So Heather, I think you had something as
Yeah,
well.
I forgot. I will get that tonight.
I have a situation heard that came up on Saturday when Heather and I were here, and I would like to put it out into the board. That apparently there was a large purchase done for some specific items, and it was over $300 total in cost. And whether or not this was a needed situation, it can be ordered or purchased, it should at least be run by the executive committee, if not the full board. I'm not sure where the speed bump happened, but this is a point that we
Okay.
really need to kind of encourage to.
The show has director's discretion.
I totally agree.
We did
with
not-
Ken on this.
Our expenditures on the set and everything else have been very small. Our overall expenditures on this are going to come in way under what previous shows have been.
I do not want to sit here and argue
So-
about $300-400 and have to go through that every time to the executive.
I don't
board.
want to argue the point of the overall cost. I want to argue the point that in the past, and hopefully in the future, if there is a large single purchase being made, it at least should be alerted.
Should have bring this up in the finance. committee.
Several of
Talking
us
about a
need-
budget for each show.
But here's the other thing is we have a sponsor too.
We have
Okay,
a
we
sponsor,
need to
so let's
move on.
let this go, please.
We're gonna bring this up in the finance board. I agree with Ken on this one. I do not agree with you, Lynn. We're not gonna argue about this tonight. We'll bring it up in the finance.
But good to know.
I just wanted to bring
Because
to
we
the
need to
board's
bring-
attention.
We need to have a budget for each show.
So that would be a good idea, yeah.
Okay, moving on to house. Lynn or Nancy?
Just that I will not be here at all this weekend. I'm out of town, which means the morning after cleaning is going to, someone else will have to do that. And I know Randall's always good, takes care of the concessions in the bathrooms and such. What typically gets missed is the stage bathroom and the green room. So if somebody, a cast member, Holly, if you would designate somebody, would, the bathroom, the stage bathroom, just have to take the garbage out. And the same
Okay.
with the green room. Because it gets full each night, believe me, it gets full and it's
I
would
know
be very
we have
helpful.
kids in the show,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
I'm
okay, so
sorry, Nancy, what weekend did you say you went available?
This one.
this weekend,
Okay.
I'm out of town.
And I'm gonna be cleaning, so.
Yeah, I know you do the usual. What I wanted to bring the attention to was the stage and the green
Yeah,
room.
and we'll
because-
handle that.
Okay, Holly and Penny have got that. Thank you.
Mhm.
And then, at one time, we noticed that the seat numbers are not in.
I think they.
Kid,
That's
Yes,
it.
they
Okay,
fixed that.
sweet, good, okay. And then, for the future, is anyone interested in doing recycling? Or do we
Like,
just start throwing things?
hauling
Like
it to
hauling it
the
to the
recycling.
Taking it.
recycling bin?
Yeah,
Or
taking
doing
it to this recycling center, and you don't have to decide that right now. John has done it for so many years, I'm sure he will not continue to do it, so that needs to be decided upon. Do we just go with throwing, or does somebody want to take care of that? But we'll put that on for another
Okay.
time.
Kick
And
it around.
then, did I hear the rumor that those expensive curtains were found?
Yes, they're right out here in a,
They're in the back.
All good.
oh, they're back here now.
That's all I have.
Anything else, man?
I don't have.
Can we skip to the kids program in the newsletter for me, just
Yes,
so that I can go
yeah, that's, I'm
get my
sorry,
crap
yes.
together?
Kids program,
Okay, kids programming this weekend from 9 to 9:45 and then 10 to 10:45. We're having an auditions workshop for $10 or whatever. And it's mostly for the kids, you know, what am I going to be looking at? Paula and I will be here, and we're gonna do some activities. We're gonna talk a little bit about if you're interested in coming to our audition or whoever audition, you know, these are the kinds of things that we look for. You know, different shows are different, you know, but it mostly just is around the language and the wardrobe, because sometimes, you know, kids get really scared about that kind of thing. And, you know, summer theater, they always have to have a song and a monologue and whatever. And of course, here, we don't do that. You know, it's not as threatening.
It's not prepared.
No, it's not. It's, you know, and mostly I like to listen to their, I like to hear it. Because, you know, that's what they sound like, you know. Anyway, and I don't know that, you know, or the fact that if I can't hear you after I told you 3 times, that you're off my list for a main part. You know, it's as simple as that, you know. You know, you might get a part, but you won't get a main role. You know, and some of the philosophies that we're going to use when we cast this show. So that's coming up this weekend.
and I say thank you, girls, for putting that together, and ladies, sorry.
Well, we will also kind of look at going back to some of our informative types of classes after Christmas. You know, the Saturday morning, you know, whatever, but, you know, it probably won't be until late January, February in there, you know, it seemed like it worked okay. And so then we'll kind of be around whatever Mass is doing, which isn't really quite the same, you know, so. Anyway, more options.
Perfect.
So, but I too agree that we maybe want to look at Missoula another year, or, you know, depending on if we've got that would like to, you know, do that. I think probably Brittany will be a little busy this year.
You'd have to check with her.
Teaching now.
Will she be busy, Randall?
I don't know, is she gonna be busy?
A little bit. Well, she won't be, but he will.
Yeah. Oh, well, whichever the case might be, you know, but I mean, it does not
I know
hurt.
she has in the past been interested.
Yeah.
I know she has done the same thing.
Sure, she
before.
has.
So it's
It's
just a matter of
absolutely.
finding out if there are times that she would be able to put together. I mean, if it's after June, probably.
Well, yeah. Oh, is that when that next wedding is in June?
June 6th.
That's your wedding, June
So
6th?
One thing-
after that, then who knows? It might be
Okay.
plenty of time.
That's good to know.
And
Well,
one thing
anyway,
we
we'll
want-
leave that out.
One thing we want to look at, obviously, at the Hess meeting, we found this out, and a lot of big companies do this. They want to know what other things are we doing that is part of the community. And
Yeah.
as Holly and Heather and myself and Kim know, the very first question that was brought up was, didn't y'all do Missoula? Haven't y'all done Missoula every year or something like that?
Yeah. And we've done it before and we also did it this
Right.
year.
And that,
You know.
that automatically sparked their eyes.
Yeah.
So it's, that helps us in grant writing as well down the future.
Yeah,
that's
which
Well, I
it's,
think with Ed, I'll put it in our finance budget or the meeting to talk about a budget so that we know what we can spend.
right.
And how much money do we need to raise?
Well,
So-
true enough, which incidentally, the Elks, will sponsor the, language in the wardrobe. So, not that we wouldn't take another sponsor, if that be the case, but, so.
All right, is that it? Ms. Hall?
Well, I'm gonna flip down here because we need to vote on this to make sure. It was a famous one, I don't know, like the Muddy River or something. I'm kidding, but anyway, so this is our show. And, just kind of talking to that smaller group, I said, well, what should, if they would buy the script, we could probably man this as, but I had to bring it up, so, and she was okay with that.
Are they talking about the script as having been, as a memorized script or kind of more a loose thing?
Like we did
the first time?
before.
Loose.
Then there should not be.
No, loose as a goose.
Yeah.
We can even, and then we'll worry about it in March.
I thought we were.
Well, it's out.
It's
Well-
right after,
It's
so
out
it
of the
shouldn't
house anyway.
cause any
Right.
kind of real conflict.
Okay, okay. So
So we have
somebody,
a motion. Can you proxy for Kim?
Does he have permission?
Usually I.
Yeah, well, how many times do we do Robert's rules?
well, here, I'll go find it.
I think we have enough.
We need
Yes.
to proxy.
I don't think it's a worry, we've
Ken is
got.
yes.
Can I have it proxy?
The answer is yes. Shake your head yes.
Vote yes.
So that's 10 yeses.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Holly.
You're welcome.
So this,
We go back up to concessions.
concessions, Arnie's is on board to do alcohol for this show in the front room.
And we might want to talk to them about doing the good night wine as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I will once you
Yeah,
know.
once we can nail out some of those details.
Because they would love that.
Good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then concessions, obviously y'all heard, this woman's gonna make all the cookies, so that'll save us almost $400. So. 'Cause
Her
the
character makes cookies on the.
Which that's-
It's an elevation. You could be the dead
Are we
guy.
reimbursing her for
You're directing.
What I
goods, or is she just?
Hey, Ken, since you're here, if this lady's gonna make all those cookies, we need to pay her something.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dough and sugar
Yeah,
and
I'll-
whatever.
Well, I mean, obviously, she should hand in her receipt.
Yeah.
Yeah, just tell her hand in her receipt.
So just, if she could do that, just tell her we'll pay
Oh,
for
okay.
the material.
Yeah.
Because we'd have to pay for cookies anyway.
Yeah, I'll let her know.
Okay,
That's lovely.
all right, season, Lynn, you had mentioned Brittany Express.
First thing is we need to take all those names off the top because the season committee has not been even. If people want to be on that particular committee, that can be.
I think Eiley said that she would be the off.
See, I'm confused because in the past, it's always been 4 board members and 1 non-board member.
Right.
This last year, there were so many involved, and I
There
think
were.
that gets too much. Discussing and debating on what shows it was with just 5 was.
Involved
Could
as
you
well.
have 2 non?
Could we have 3? Could we have 4?
So-
And you know what I mean? Like, I think it needs to go back
You know what
because
our
it was
bylaws
hard
say.
not board.
Committee,
It was just a board decision. We didn't have a season committee at times.
So then, first, we're gonna have to big to voice.
Yeah.
But I would like to see more board participation, and all these people, if they were there,
Out on an email so that everybody gets it. okay?
Okay.
Here is that I would like to propose that because we're coming up to our 50th, and we have 2021, and then 21, 22, and I know that the girls had lots of options of great shows. Well, if you only have 5 each year, I think we should have a double our 50th, and then 21, 22, so that we have, you know, we can capitalize.
Continuation.
Yeah,
We
I think we
tried
can.
to do that before, where we had the one season and then the next season was also thought of
Yeah, we
with
tentative.
potential for
Well,
change, but yes.
right, but I think that being that, you know, just in listening to how many of the great ones, and Sandy Karnak made a comment to me when I did her, you know, interview, you know, last year, that she said, well, why didn't you have a Neil Simon in your list? She said there are some doable ones, you know, like something about being in pictures, and there's another one, I wrote them down. That would be because he's passed away and whatever. So anyway, that's another option, but just because they had so many options, maybe a 2-year, at least in this case, could be, you know, kicked
Well,
around.
it still would, it really wouldn't be 50th scene happen when they tried to do this year is set and this is the tentative one. By the time we got to the tentative one, a lot of the problems that we had with the people who were going to be directing were bowing out for whatever reason.
Because they didn't want to do that show
They either
necessarily.
didn't want to do that show,
selected.
or they suddenly had different jobs, or they.
Well, I mean, I guess it has to be tentative, but
And,
we could
yeah.
go for it if we,
But we ended up changing it almost every time.
Maybe,
to a certain.
maybe we should, get the season committee rolling on it and see if.
It's a
Yeah,
possibility.
it's a
Also-
possibility.
I just thought I'd throw it out there because we were talking about it. Well, because I have to go because I have to get my crap.
So
I will
I'll-
say that's a good idea, Randall, to pick up on
Also-
your pointing that. Brittany has volunteered. Lynn, did I hear you say she'd volunteered to be
she wants
chair?
to-
She
And
volunteered to be
We could
chairperson.
have her chair of what we'll call the gala season. If it's 1 year, if it goes into the 2 years, but the committee that
I
can
think
work
the
on that could be
committee's-
called our gala season
And
committee. Because the
only
shows are
thing-
gonna be an important part of that whole gala.
The only
Right,
thing I'm
but I
gonna
know
ask,
she won't want to be in charge of the gala part of it. I know she won't want to.
I'm only calling it the gala season. I'm calling it the gala season. That's a part of the whole gala celebration. I mean, there'll be food, there'll be fun, there'll be the season, there'll be the liquor, there'll be the dress and the.
and I'll put in my email that kind of what we would like to see as a board of a scope of some kind of structure.
We've already got.
So we got Courtney and Brittany, but see, I consider them part of the theater family. I think we also need to look outside of our theater family and say, bring an outsider in. What do they think about our season too? Because we've had a lot of people talk about our season, what we come up with it. So let's get the community involved. Erica,
No, I would be all over that.
you go out there and hold the sign up, the sandwich sign.
And as in,
You go out there and hold the sign up, the sandwich sign.
and as in looking for somebody or being part of it.
Both. Well, no, I mean, look,
Because
you're
at this
talking
stage,
looking
you
for.
would- Yeah, at this stage, you're still semi an outsider. You're not, you haven't been.
Right, that's what I'm saying,
So,
when I would
Brittany-
kind of fit the bill for being somebody who is new to at least this organization. I mean, not new to community theater, but new to this organization.
Well, we've got the start of a great committee here.
Yeah, no, we do, so
We've got, I mean,
I'll
we've got
send
Brittany
that.
chairing it, Courtney, Eiley, Ken, Erica, Kenna, I mean.
So is that, did they say they wanted,
Eiley has said it.
Yeah, Eiley has,
they wanted?
Eiley has said it.
yeah,
to you and-
Eiley has.
Eiley
I mean,
mentioned
we've
that
got
she would be
Brittany,
interested.
Courtney, Eiley, Ken, Erica, and Kenna. I mean,
And I know that Ken is definitely, he wants to be on.
yeah, I said Ken.
Is
So
Ken,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 6. Wouldn't hurt to have one more as an odd.
all right, well, we'll start with that. Okay, there's no movement on the tenant building out right now, except that I did go there a while ago to adjust the heating because the cooler weather's coming, so we just keep a watch on that.
I'm going to try and get him and whoever I can get muscle for to try and get those rugs back inside so we don't lose them. So we can at least use them for chairs or nothing else.
And I can help. And then sponsorship. Heather,
Sorry,
did you get the letters out?
Yes, thank you to Lynn and my husband. We spent a lot of time and we got 263 letters sent out on Saturday. So they should all receive them today or tomorrow and cross our fingers and hope for the best. Envelopes, so hopefully.
So moving on to new business, and Dakota Square Mall.
Yeah, unfortunately Holly's not here. From the most recent show, which in this case would be my witch and wardrobe, to come in costume and hang around Santa Claus at the mall, she was kind of nebulous. Just sort of being colorful, I think. I'm not entirely sure that we have people who would to see if we'd be interested, and if we are interested, we might get more. But we don't have the cast for that group yet, so I
And I would
can't even
say-
go to the cast.
I just go to a dance company where they probably already have holiday costumes.
Yeah.
If there's not even holiday costumes, she was just talking about Halloween.
Right, but I mean,
You haven't seen
It was
that.
very nebulous.
Thank you very
well,
much
Randall
for
said it'll be
asking.
main health.
Yeah, it might be something of perhaps we can line some.
It's tentative no.
Okay. All right, anything else?
The Taubes is still having their 1920s holiday celebration. They wanted to know if we wanted to participate. I've just been waiting until the folks are on to make sure.
When was that?
It's, I think around New Year's.
New Year's?
It's right in the beginning of getting in touch with her and finding if they've got further information and then bring it next meeting.
Okay.
So then the only other business I had was, I don't know if y'all seen the new alarm panel is in. It's no different. Works exactly the same, so no changes. Other than that Ken and myself right now can remotely do things with it. So if you fix it, like add me in, that's okay with me. And then the quality group has asked me about using our theater on October 6th.
What is the Magic City quality?
It's the
It used to be my pride.
Okay.
the gay boys and girls.
Okay. I mean, I saw Matthew Shepard's story.
It's just the Rocky Horror.
No, that's Misfits.
That's a
But
magic,
they're
but it's a
part of
symbol.
it, yes.
Yeah,
So
no,
basically,
I saw Matthew Shepard's story and I thought, like a Bible story.
No,
And then I thought, is this a religious group?
No, it's the same thing that the Laramie Project is based on.
It's, so they wanted me to ask about the theater, so I'll ask Holly if it works.
And also,
I told them that it's $250 rental. You know, their proceeds, they take care of the door, they take care of everything. So
And what-
my schedule, but I just want to know if it was all right. So, y'all want to,
Should we vote on that?
well, I need to ask Holly first.
yeah.
Okay. I'll ask her.
And then maybe we'll do
I'll send you out.
I was gonna say, I don't know if it's gonna be in time for the next meeting. It won't be.
It might be the fifth.
Okay, and then we had gotten a request via email from a Doug McGraw, who is a national touring company for, we still have time.
Okay for me.
Is that during your show? And you said yes, didn't you?
Yeah. as long as he doesn't mind the idea that there could be a half-built setup there.
And he, from what he told me, he didn't care what it was. He was just easy to get there. So, do we have enough people to vote? I guess.
I think we have 9 votes here right now with proxy. Which,
We have 8, but that's more than a,
don't you have 10 proxy now?
no, because Holly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Holly took it. Okay, so we have 8, and there's 13 board members. That's more than half if we get it all yet.
That's a quorum. Okay, so if it fits with
Do we
you,
know anything about how much he may be charging and how
he
much of the day
knows.
he needs, things like that?
It's the same thing. It's a full day of setup. He knows our cost. He wants to share the profits with the center. Yeah, he'll do all advertising. It was kind of like the whole, would be the rep at that time. That's way too far off for me to say yes, but I kind of said yes.
If you can make it, I'm sure we can find something.
Okay. So then,
Show on December 29th, 2019 with Randall and as the rep.
Next second.
okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so I'll call Doug and tell him yes. Okay, and then the old business here that I had was the Magic City Misfits. Just this was a reminder that they're going to be using our theater October 12th for the Rocky Horror Picture Show once again.
We voted on that last month.
Yeah,
I just saw you had the question mark there. So.
All right, that was my fault.
No. Well, first a reminder, I'm just gonna remind everybody, September 24th, Tuesday, all day long from 11 to 10 p.m., 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. is our fundraiser at Applebee's. You do have to mention the theater in order for us to get it again. So just anytime during that day, you have to dine in, but anytime, please go. The second thing is Signy. Some of you might not know her, but she has been in the last 2 plays, and then she is always willing to help out, like, and
So what I can do is I'll make copies of these and I'll send it out via email.
okay,
So everybody can look
sounds
at it.
good.
I know at the last meeting, we mentioned being on the board.
She
I
was.
checked with her, and she is actually interested. I talked, she's still sending the application and then I bring it in.
Cool. But she's here at MSU.
Okay, then before we adjourn.
Actually, I want to bring up one of the table agenda items.
I tabled mask as well for a while,
Okay.
so I learned my job.
Okay.
So basically the food at Stoughton Rooster has gone down.
Whatever.
And so.
It's gone right in the mouth.
Do you know who's going to be working with the theater children at high school now?
It's Chad Gifford.
Chad
He's
Gifford.
9th through 12th grade now.
Okay.
Okay, and then our next board meeting is tentative for November, unless we have any conflicts. And then there's this little thing called sheet.